Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Mandalorian series review. I am... I never have a name. I'm don't let Dave Filoni ever direct a live-action Star Wars movie.
Dave Filoni is a
Travis Snail.
Adam Hardcaster Domus.
I'm the gunslinger, Kirklin Patzer.
I'm the assassin, Taylor Field.
Oh.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't figured it out by now, we are reviewing every single episode of Mandalorian. We are on, this is episode 5 now?
Episode
Yeah,
five.
yeah. What was it? The
Cinco de Mayo.
Gunslinger?
The gunslinger.
Gunslinger.
Over the hook.
Go check out all the other reviews. We've obviously done all 4 of the first ones. We got tons of Star Wars stuff popping off. In the next few weeks, you're going to get our Skywalker predictions episode. You're going to get our Last Jedi commentary track, which I think is going to be a spicy one because that movie
Yeah,
is...
recording that today.
People, there's 2 things people can't stop talking about is BVS and Last Jedi, you
Fuck
know?
BVS,
so
dude.
I'm
Strange.
whoa. But yeah, so we're going to be doing
Release the
that.
Snyder Cut.
Newscast, hashtag release.
I don't need that from you now, Taylor Field.
Next week, we're going to do a mini newscast talking about the Wonder Woman trailer, Black Widow trailer, all this good stuff. So this is a little late because we had a nice Christmas party. So thank you guys for all attending. That was a nice, fun time.
Thank you for hosting. That was a really
Very
fun
festive.
evening.
Yeah, we had a good time. It's off limits. That's the $1,000 Patreon tier. If you get that, then you could get the live stream of it. You would have saw.
Yeah, sometimes we got to record we don't have to record every conversation the 4 of us have together.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's nice to
Well, if you give us a 10,000 subscription, we'll give you an invite
Oh
to
yeah.
the party.
If
I'll sell my soul for
10,000,
10,000
yeah,
subs.
10,000, you'll know what the Jack Skellington pre-cum means, but you won't until then. So.
Yeah.
But you do know what you do know is you're watching The Mandalorian. We're going to give our quick overalls, then we're getting to our spoilers. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1. Kirkland's going to say Geek for Assemble because it went all the way around because Dylan did some McClunky and
McClunky.
skipped him. So
I leave that up to you guys. I'm the assist. I'm the Doctor Strange. I'm the one opening the portals. You guys can.
you'll
can
say
drop
it before the
phrase.
show's over.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it.
Taylor Field. Actually, I don't know if we should start on a high. So, I'm going to start because let's start maybe at the bottom and work our way up. I don't know. We'll go this way because I think
Okay.
Dale might be on the same thing. So I've been a fan of this show. I've been really enjoying it. And Taylor even threw this in my face like, oh, episode 3, you said you were sold on the show. I was. But here's the thing. So, and here's like a life lesson. So when I was seeing someone at some point in my life, there was somebody who was like, oh, their ex is going to contact them. And I knew it. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to say anything. They got their phone number. I'm just going to see if they contact them. I know they're going to contact them and see this is early on in the relationship. Are they going to come to me and be like, oh, this ex messaged me? And that didn't happen. They came to me and said, you know what? He did text me, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm with that person. I have 2 kids because we built a foundation. We built trust. But you know what would have been different if a month later I walked in this room and that man was there with 5 other men. And I was like, oh, that trust is now gone. And that's what this is. This was not the 5 other men equivalent, but now I'm on a rocky road with The Mandalorian because last week I liked the episode, but I was like, okay, I thought we were going in like what I said, maybe an action episode, then story, action, story. This episode is nothing but filler, and this was super disappointing. And to me, it's all, and Taylor's going to defend him, but you can go to the Clone Wars retrospective. The worst Clone Wars episodes, this is maybe not like Jar Jar equivalent, like there are some bad ones, but it's in that,
Jar
if there's
Jar.
like 5 tiers of like great, good, mediocre, bad, and very bad, this is in the middle of very bad to bad. I think, and to spoil my review or my rating, I'm giving it a failing grade, which is strange for me to say. Yeah,
Take that, Filoni.
That's what I knew. I'm like, why was this episode off? And then when it said directed by Dave Filoni, but then it was written by Dave Filoni. And this is the first one Favreau is not written. And it's still on Favreau. It's the same way as, like, let's say if The Eternals comes out next year and it sucks. That's still on Feige. If we praise him, we got to take him down. So same thing. It's on everybody. But I thought this was filler. We didn't learn anything. I thought it was very cheesy. I think that they just relied on fan service and we go to a classic planet and there's maybe a big reveal at the end of the episode. And I thought they just thought that would get good enough. There's 2 performances in the show that are not good. They're really bad acting, and it really stuck out. It did not feel like Star Wars. The Mandalorian made countless dumb decisions in this episode, which sucks because before I thought they were going for like a Jack Sparrow, like he's really lucky. Now it just feels like he is really lucky, but there's always a time in those Pirates movies where Jack buckles down and he makes the play. Not in this one. We get set up with an episode, and there's a conflict at the beginning of it, and then 2 minutes later, he does something that completely contradicts the beginning of this episode. So this made me worry, especially because we only have 3 episodes left. And we were talking about this a bit last week that I don't think it's like in that Watchmen, like Game of Thrones level. But I still think it should need to be because it's only 8 episodes. And it's the same way of like, let's say in our podcast, for some reason there was a law and we're only allowed to review 4 movies a year. So next year we're like, okay, we'll review Black Widow, we'll review Birds of Prey, we'll review Nolan's Tenet. But then at the 4th movie, we picked like Downey's Doolittle, be like, that's kind of a waste. And that's what this feels like, because you only get 8 and all of them got to count. And
God, if we were limited to 4 reviews a year.
yeah.
Jesus.
And
I
that's
don't
why
know
I
if we
feel like
would've made
this.
it.
I feel like you got to make them count. You have 8, use that budget, and this was just very disappointing. And I'm still enjoying the show. I'm not like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. But this just made me really worried a little bit for the future and of this show, just because there is only 3 episodes left, and we haven't covered a lot of ground in these past 2 episodes. And even last episode, we were in one location for a while, but we still learned stuff about the Mandalorian and maybe what the future could be. This did nothing. This did absolutely nothing. There's not even a nice consumption of cute baby Yoda. It was just a complete throwaway episode. So very disappointing for me.
Jeez Louise, yeah. So I'm in a weird spot now because I've been just full on that Star Wars hype train the last few weeks. Like I just finished Jedi Fallen Order like a couple days ago, pretty much. I'm on episode 4 of the the classic Star Wars movies. So yeah, we're in this spot where we're back on Tatooine, where episode 4 is taking me right now. So it's kind of interesting, but. Yeah, I mean, not to echo anything Travis said, but I completely agree. I just felt this episode was it was a filler episode, yet I still think the second episode, which is also just a filler episode, is still probably my favorite, which is kind of weird. But yeah, I did not like the characters at all in this one. You get introduced to a couple characters, and they're both just super lame, and I feel like it's a very predictable episode, and yeah, no ground is really covered. I agree with Travis that he just makes a lot of stupid decisions, and I have a lot of questions about why he made any of those decisions. So yeah, overall, it's just kind of lame.
Yeah.
Just kind of uninteresting.
Because Kirklin, you had a high. Last week was your favorite episode.
Last week was my favorite episode.
So did this match that, or what were you?
No, this one didn't. Basically, right from the first scene, it just felt like a different.
Yeah.
Felt different than the last few episodes.
There's one line that opens this.
Oh yeah,
which
it's
is
so
really bad.
It's so cringy,
Yeah.
and it's not like there's just one cringy moment in this episode. There's quite a few, and I agree with what you guys said. The characters that they introduced, I really did not like. Every time that they're on screen, I was just like, man, can I just skip this up? It was that bad. But I don't want to go all negative on it. There was some cool things I liked. I feel like throughout the show, whether it's good or bad episodes, or I should say stronger or weaker episodes, it's just they have great cinematography, and then I love the Mandalorian theme. Every time it plays,
score
I get
continues
hyped.
to be great.
Yeah, score is awesome, and stuff like that. And then it was just it was cool seeing where I don't know if that's a spoiler.
Well,
so
don't say it. So it's over.
Okay,
we're fine.
okay, my
It's in the
bad.
first 30 seconds. So
Okay, yeah.
I don't know.
It was just cool, being back on Tatooine and that stuff. But overall, I definitely think that this is the weakest episode that's come out. Yeah, it's just I don't know. We'll talk about some of the decisions that Mando makes, and like Travis said, it's not even let me just rephrase that. Last week episode, I have a few friends that didn't really care for the episode, but they still really liked it because there was good Baby Yoda content and interactions with him. But like you said,
You get some good gifts.
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
You don't even really get that in this episode.
No.
He kind of just takes a back seat with a character that's just so terrible, and I did not like them whatsoever. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not too worried though for the last few episodes because I'm assuming it won't be Dave Filoni writing and directing the last few episodes.
I know he's not directing anymore. I know we got Deborah Chow and Taika's doing the finale,
Oh,
and I think
yeah.
maybe Rick Famuyiwa, he did episode 2. I think he's directing one more. So I think
Okay.
those are the last 3.
Yeah.
I think.
It's weird when you get a show like this that every episode is directed by someone else because it could take a different flavoring like this one did, but this one was just so much more noticeable than all the other
Yeah.
episodes.
I think because Favreau didn't write it. In my
Yeah.
opinion, that's the big thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to wonder what Favreau's role is on set, right? Because he's pretty much a director, is the vibe I get.
Yeah,
But then he's also working with someone else every episode.
I
so.
think he's more involved with season 2 because at the time they were still filming Lion King. So I think he was there as much as he could be, but he was
Right.
kind of going back and forth. Where season 2, he's directing, I think, at least 2 episodes. So
Okay.
it sounds like he'll be a bit more there every day
He's a
in the
busy
Bay,
guy.
where this was kind of do your best and I'll show up when I can. So
yeah.
I'm not, don't quote me, I'm just guessing because
Yeah.
Lion King was a pretty big movie. So
yeah, right on. I'll pass it along.
Taylor, who messaged me, got me really excited for this episode because he just in caps sent me, "Oh baby," and I was
the
like, "Oh,
Filoni fighter over
yeah."
here.
yeah.
So yeah, a lot of negativity in this side of the table over here.
You were like, you told me just wait to the review. I'm like, okay, we'll see.
So first off, I'm gonna shout out Dave Filoni. This is his first time doing a live action Star Wars project, directing it and helming it.
No,
in
he
this
did the
degree.
pilot.
He did the pilot. I thought
Yeah.
I thought
He directed the pilot.
he directed the pilot.
Yes.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Well,
So it's second time.
The second time, you know, it's and that's okay. You know, this is still his
That's
first.
okay.
It's his first series that he's diving into live action, and he's trying and he's struggling, and
I thought you said you were gonna come and save him.
oh yeah, I am. I think
coming,
He's cutting him down to build him up.
I think it's probably, I'm not a director or know how to write stories on that kind of scale, but to go from doing several different story arcs in an animated series and then jumping to one continuous eight episode storyline live action, I would imagine it's very different when you're doing like 7 seasons of different story arcs. And he, as a person who knows Star Wars lore and canon very well, and loves to dive into those kind of aesthetics and
I got some
and
good
things.
canon questions for you today.
I'm excited. I
Yeah.
want them. He, like, the whole, as you said, like, yeah, Tatooine, it caught me off guard. He dived into so many different things in this episode that I feel like, sure, the other episodes had good action sequences and many cool different features and surprises that I love. This episode, I felt, had different things that I wasn't expecting, but was very surprised, where I was trying to predict, like, okay, well, we've seen these things in these circumstances before, so I know how this is going to play out, but then it completely just turned over the table, and it was just something completely different. It's like, wow, this is an aspect I never would have seen coming or expected. And it had many different surprises in it that I really enjoyed. And I think that for The Mandalorian, the way I saw it, you know, before where it was based on luck, much of this time around, I like seeing him in a scenario where he took more charge and he was more reliant on himself, I found. And you got to see him actually demonstrate his skills
Oh no.
not more effectively or anything like that, because I don't think anything at this point rivals that
Episode 3 when he goes out and takes all the guys.
yeah, when he's doing that like secret agent takedown stuff. But I like seeing him in this element where he was going through different scenarios and situations, and he managed to adapt and just handle it. And I didn't find it like totally based on luck, you know, or having the help of others. He played the scenario very, very well, and he managed to come out on top, especially how it ended. I loved how it ended. I think he really landed it. And the other characters, they definitely were a little weaker, and I'm wondering whether or not they are just a complete write-off or if there is going to have some relevance, because they definitely showcased one of the characters. In one of the moments with him, there was a certain scene where they emphasized something with this character and how much they dived into him. I feel like there's still more that they were going to showcase with him, but it remains to be seen whether or not we find out later on. But then again, I liked how this episode also portrayed how, you know, he's not only wanted by the Bounty Hunters Guild, but this is something that what he did has now reached new heights that other people, not just bounty hunters, are aware of him. And it's just how he's just become much more wanted on a larger scale. It's escalated.
Yeah.
And I loved
I'll give
getting
you
to know
that.
that. That was a huge, an awesome thing. And I loved how that was turned against him as well at one point. But, yeah.
So yeah, if you have not checked it out, go watch it, come back. If you don't care about spoilers, that's what we're about to get into now. So 3, 2, 1.
Geek versus Symbol.
So I want to start there when you were talking about the Mandalorian making all these choices and feeling smart. I'm on the completely different side, because we get the same thing we've got every episode, literally where he's about to die and he gets saved by the guys, because at one point he's getting shot with the armor. She finds a part where she can shoot in between his things, and then the fucking lame-o assassin. What's this guy's name?
Toro Talican.
Toro. Yeah, fuck Toro.
Fuck Toro,
And then
man.
he sneaks up on this girl, which I have a whole other complaint about, but he got saved again there. And even then...
Not so fast, assassin.
well, and the thing is, you say, like, oh, he gets to show off all his skills. The thing that's so annoying is, so he goes in this bar, and he's like, I need a mission. Oh, there are no jobs.
Yeah,
There's this guy
he's
over
in
here.
the classic Han Solo spot where
Yeah.
he's got his
Exact
legs
same
kicked
chair.
That
up.
fucker's in Han Solo's spot. Like this is the guy they gave it to. But anyway, so he goes in there. I don't have a job. Some guy in the car, I got a job. And then he goes on that he can't do alone. It's so dangerous because this assassin's one of the best in the world, right? What does she do? She shoots this guy in the armor, clearly doesn't kill him. Then she sits there the whole night. And then what does she do again? She just shoots him continually in the armor. And then this guy, who it's his first bounty, sneaks up on this woman who's supposedly one of the best assassins in the world. He snuck up on her. I don't think he's challenged at all when he goes, this is going to be a really tough mission. What did they do? They just drove forward. It's just like if you're just spamming like heal meds in a video game going against a boss. Like you're using your go cube rider. That's what this episode was.
To counter,
he didn't show his skills at all.
To counter that, so basically his skills in this sense were his armor held up at that range, obviously with the first blow. And obviously he knew to wait till nightfall when they had the cover of darkness. And his skills definitely showed because he knew that his armor could hold off against the rifle at that range. His bike got taken out, but he still held up and was there. She obviously wanted to take him out.
Yeah, you're missing that part. When his bike got taken out, he was dead to rights until the little guy came in and saved him.
He wasn't dead to rights.
He was
because
100%.
she planted another shot in his chest, and he still was able to hold off.
But
against
then
it.
after that, she zooms and they find the little. It's in between the cracks, and he stops her. Which again, I have a problem that they made this character completely weak. This female assassin. She's supposed to be this What they gave her nothing. She had a cool fight scene, but I didn't buy this at all. Like the stakes for that was completely gone. That this guy on his first date can sneak up on her.
Yeah, but she was definitely rattled. How many times was she blinded?
But why wouldn't she move? Why would she stay there the whole night?
That's the high ground.
But no, why they can't see.
There was
her.
also like a giant mountain behind her. She could have also used that, which was like an even higher ground.
From what
am I wrong?
From what I could tell, it looked like she did move because she was on a when they first identified her, she was on that ridge, right? And then it looked like now she relocated to a higher position.
I mean, like just leave the area in general because they were there camping out for a long time. And even then, I get that this guy's his first day, but for Mando just right away to be like, all right, you stay here. I'm going to go rest. And he goes to sleep. You don't know this fucking guy.
But here's
make
the thing.
Him go to sleep first.
She could leave, give up her position, and knows that they have speeder bikes. She doesn't have anything, and she has to make sure she holds her location or holds her own until she gets to her rendezvous.
I just think there's so much time. I don't believe that she would just sit up there, and she shot this guy, so she knows it does nothing.
It's just like a boring use of that set piece that they had. Like,
I
don't know, just don't do anything interesting with
it. Of all the places to pin yourself down and try to make an attempt to stand, that would be it. Otherwise, you're just treading along thousands of miles of just empty sand, and you would be open to being picked off, especially by two bounty hunters on speeder bikes. You're vulnerable.
I just the whole situation. I just don't think she would sit there. I don't think that guy could sneak up on her. It just made it really unbelievable. So now next time in the show when they go, oh, there's this really dangerous person, I'm not going to believe that.
Well, even he destroyed the tracking fob that he had for her, right?
Yeah.
So she could have just left, and they wouldn't know where she would have gone.
Yeah, but I don't know how tracking fobs
That's true. They've not made that clear at all.
He said he memorized it, and then the bounty hunter Mando collected another tracking fob off the dead body, right? So either way, I guess it wouldn't have mattered.
Well, okay, so something I'm curious about. You said a lot in your pre there that like you feel like everything he's done is like luck so far. I didn't really get that vibe. Like in episode 3, that battle when everyone just misses those shots, I was definitely getting a lot of luck vibes from there. But otherwise, I feel like he like yes, it's from like the relationships he builds, albeit like they're quick relationships, but still those people help him out in those times of need. And yeah, maybe the time is coincidental, but I don't really attribute it all to luck. And yeah, I don't know. Like, do you really? I guess like a lot of time he feels like he gets away with just like barely, just by like hanging on by a thread or something.
But I look at it as luck because Baby Yoda or Avocado didn't have to help him, but the only time he's used the Force is literally right at that moment when he was about to be killed by the Mudhorn.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And then there's other scenarios where his Concord, which he didn't end on good terms, just magically popped out and saved him when he needed them the most.
Right. Episode 1, he was saved by IG-11.
Yeah,
because
I guess to me it's like the framing of it doesn't always come across as just like he's a super lucky guy. Like I get the vibe that he's maybe not the most skilled bounty hunter, but he's like pretty good. And then obviously there is a little bit of luck involved.
I agree with Dylan. That's why I thought they were going to take I liked originally when you said, oh, he's going to get this legend by mistake. And he kind of has, but he's not playing it up that way. Yeah, when he got his armor, he said, oh, I didn't kill that enemy. But he's not, to me, playing it up like, oh, I'm really lucky. He's still playing up like he's kind of a badass. And this character's not a badass at all, really, in my opinion. He's cool, but he's just constantly being saved. He's constantly like, and I don't think they're doing it in a way that he's lucky. I think they're doing it in a way that they don't have an idea how to save this character, have any smart way to write it. So it's just outside force gets him out of the situation, which is disappointing.
I'm not going to say, like, yeah, he is definitely completely all luck, because he definitely runs into scenarios where he gets taken out, like the Jawas ganging up on him, and situations like that. But then even again at the beginning of this episode, I love seeing him handle his own, because this was probably one of like the rare times we
Talking about the
actually
space
get a
battle?
yeah
Oof.
like we I
Oof.
love
I knew within a minute. I was like, that's why Taylor loves this episode.
Yeah,
Well, no,
I knew
like,
too.
he doesn't
Yeah,
care.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
in-
yeah.
we
That-
don't-
that and-
we don't,
Yeah, that
uh,
and Tats right, and he's like Moss eyes him. Oh, this is a 5 out of 5 for Taylor. This
we
is
don't
Darth
get
Maul over again.
enough space battles like that, like that are like a thorough length, that are enjoyable and just fun. And I love seeing it, because Attack of the Clones, Slave 1 and Obi-Wan is one of my favorite space battles. I love it. It's awesome. And to see that on this scale of him just being tailgated by this other bounty hunter, you know, it's frustrating when you're in these situations in video games and someone's trailing you. It is one of the most frustrating things of all time. And luckily in movies and in these shows, you can always do maneuvers that you can't do in the video games. And I love how he just braked and just, you know, took him out. And I enjoyed the line. I'm not gonna like, because
I know
when he
you
said
did,
it,
Taylor.
when he said it, I'm like, oh, is this a standard bounty hunter line? And then when he blasted him, he's like, yeah, that's my line. I thought, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. I like that.
No, that, yeah.
Because I could imagine if all these guys know him and they're all like, Carl Weathers said, they're all pissed as hell at him because he got the bounty, and then all of a sudden he took the money and ditched. I could imagine that they would throw shade at him, and if they know that's like his call sign or something like that, like mocking him and throwing him
I
a
don't know how
curveball.
they, you know, yeah, I
So-
guess. I'm happy it worked for you. I think that,
Oh, yeah.
that I'm the same thing. I was like, I knew I was in for something bad when he said that line. And I think also this episode to me showed, which sucks, I've always worried about the shows about the budget and the fan filmness. This episode felt very fan filmy. That's saying they go to Tatooine. It feels very empty. And that's where it's like, oh, we don't have the budget to do anything.
Well-
but no, just even the streets in general, it does not. If you look at, like, you just watch the prequels, you just watch that. Tatooine, there's lots of people. There's stuff going. This does feel like, oh, we're on a set right now and we're on a green. Like, when they're doing the speeder bikes, they're for sure just on a CGI wall. And you usually are. But the problem is you can luckily have a budget that makes that go away. Even as much money they're spending on this episode felt like a fan film to me, and that the beginning made that feel like a fan film.
To counter that, remember this is after the Hutts are basically gone off Tatooine, so there's no pull or market or anything drawing people there anymore.
But
the Hutts was a huge presence.
But
there.
I don't, then have a character have to be a plot point. I don't need you to tell me that in canon or anything like that, because it's been 6 years. I don't think you can just say, oh, because the Hutts are gone, everybody left. Then if that's the case, fine. But then I need that explained to me. I'm not just going to assume because the Hutts left, that means all the regular people went away, the slaves went away. I feel like you need some more explanation. But this just looks like we don't want to hire a bunch of extras. And I liked the cantina thing. That was good. And I like that there's a droid running it, because there's no droids allowed in that cantina in the New Hope. So it's like a fun, like, okay, it is evolving, it's changing, but I want more of that. But like I said, I just think they didn't spend the budget for it, which sucks because they've spent lots of money, but I think they're using it maybe in the wrong ways. I don't know. But it felt cheap this episode.
See, I'm on the other end with that, because I like seeing Tatooine very dry and empty, because it just made me think like, wow, like a lot has changed at this like sandstone planet on the corner of the galaxy. Like, it's obviously seeing the stormtroopers' helmets the way
That
they
was
were.
cool, yeah.
That again like reiterated to me like, okay, this planet has obviously gone through a lot of
Yeah.
change since the Empire fell, and like 6 years has really taken its toll even on a planet like this.
Yeah. That's where then I would. That's tough, but that's where I would swap the last week's episode of have that the adventure one and him spend more time in Tatooine learning about people or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's tough because I didn't love last week, but I liked last week what it set up. So it's a.
I
it's
just don't really see a reason why they had to come to Tatooine. Like, why not go back to the original planet that he's on? I mean, I guess he can't really go there because it's kind of dangerous right now, but planets are pretty big, so he could
Yeah.
even go back there and just visit some other spot. It just felt like it was maybe a bit cheap.
I think it was a
but-
fan service thing.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. And like, I mean, it seemed like it was the closest planet to him, and he kind of just had to stop because he had like severe damages done to his ship.
Yeah.
Your
ship with like- all
the garbage in it.
And like, they're definitely, I'm assuming, going for that fanfare service of like, oh, everyone will know Tatooine, so people will appreciate it. But like, I definitely felt like it was underwhelming for me personally. There was some cool shots, like the stormtrooper heads. That was a really cool scene. I liked. But like overall, and then seeing like the cantina again, and then like you said, the like droids like running it. It was just like a cool take or a new turn on what it was before. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was a little underwhelming. It definitely felt like the lowest budget episode. Like there was just like in the past episodes, there's been a few times where I've kind of noticed like some CGI and it's like, oh, if this was like a full movie, you wouldn't really see that, right? But like this one, it just felt like, ooh, this is kind of rough. Even like the intro space battle.
Yeah.
As soon as it played, I just had like a sour taste in my mouth. I'm like, this is just not looking that great. And there was a lot of emphasis on like the action sequence itself, where, I mean, people have their issues with the prequels, but I feel like those space battles are just so much like more refined and like polished, and they just look so much better than what this one was, and it just felt really tacky and corny, and the dude just looked like he was, I don't even know.
Anybody. And I
Yeah,
hate
anyone.
the death scene when he shoots the ship and for some reason they zoom in and he's like, and then
Yeah.
it blows up. Like, what is this? What am I watching right now?
It was
That's
very
like classic
strange, and the
Star Wars,
line was
though.
terrible.
But that's where the problem is. It didn't feel like that. That's why I said it feels like a fan film. That's where I should see that and be like, oh, I'm feeling this. This does feel like that. But it felt out of place, and I think
Yeah.
it all is just a
Yeah.
budgetary thing and an acting thing. Because I think, and that happens in the prequels too. I think the next actors we get, it's not even that they could be great actors, but I think this episode suffers from some of the stuff the prequels does. Just the dialogue is not good. Whether it's for Mando, whether it's for that characters, it's all cheesy stuff. Like when she's in there, like I said, talking about the ship and all your parts, and like
she was terrible.
it was tough to watch.
Yeah, she's kind of just cringy.
yeah.
Oh yeah, there was a full like after she gets introduced and she's just all wild and wacky, and then I think it goes to, like Mando meeting Buddy Toro, whatever the fuck his name
Buddy.
was,
Toro.
and then it
I'm
goes
so glad
it
he's
goes
dead.
back to a scene of the what was her name? Does anyone remember?
I just call
Whatever
it
she was,
engineer,
the
like
engineer.
the
Yeah,
fucking
we'll go with that.
Frizzy.
Downgrade Ellen Ripley.
Yeah.
I like Frizzy actually.
Frizzy,
yeah,
yeah, Miss Frizzle.
Yeah.
The Frizzler.
So it goes back to her with her droids playing like poker or something. That's when she like sees Baby Yoda. That entire scene, I think, just should have been removed. There was a few scenes in this show that I just thought were so bad. Like even when Toro and Mando like see the what the fuck are they called? The Raiders, the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah.
Why was that even in there? Like other than fan service, like it didn't mean anything.
I
They just paused, and then he like
Yeah.
did some sign language that apparently we know that.
I
he
see that
knows
one. I didn't mind because it was one. It's showing that because so far what we've seen from Sand People, they've killed Shmi. They killed Shmi. They're just monsters, right? So I think they show two things. Of one, they can be reasoned with, and where we're talking about Mando and his luck and whatnot. I did like this showing. Oh, he's an educated character. He knows to how to talk to these people. I didn't like the Sand People just showing up behind Toro
Yeah,
for like some
that's
jump
so
scare. The execution was not great, but I think the idea of he's educated, he knows that stuff, and we're seeing the Sand People in a new light. I don't think the whole scene was great, and
No.
just like again a budgetary thing where it's just two of them hanging out. But that one actually worked for me for the most part.
I see your point, like that
Yeah.
you're bringing up, but for me, it definitely did not work.
yeah, fair enough.
That's where like I just was constantly thinking like, man, they could have just replaced this planet with a new planet instead of having like Tatooine. Because I feel like if you're going back to such an iconic world that we've all seen in like the original Star Wars, like it really has to deliver and hit well. For me personally, that's my feeling on it, and it did not do that. And I just thought there was a few scenes that were just so ridiculous, and they was no purpose for them to be in there.
Yeah, it's like the engineer Frizzy, like she's put in there. The only reason she's in there is that Baby Yoda can be somewhere while this
babysit
episode
the
goes
Baby Yoda.
on. And I feel like there's, I don't know, you could have had any other characters. You could have even just like left him in the ship, and you could have some funny scene where he leaves like a bunch of food for him, and then he gets back and he like made a big mess of the place.
100%,
And that could be like kind of a funny thing, but instead they just decide to add Frizzy in there, and I don't know,
She
regrettable to me.
Felt so like
she felt like the prequels
ridiculous.
to me.
Oh yeah,
That's
and
where-
like 'cause when you first get introduced to her, she just seems like super like, I don't know, just crazy sort of.
Wacky,
Yeah,
yeah.
wacky. And then she totally like changes her mood because at first she's like, yeah, no, like there's no free rides basically. Like this will cover like the hangar, but I'm not fixing your ship for this. And the next thing you know, she's like babysitting Baby Yoda for free pretty much. She ends up like just fixing the ship because she falls in love with Baby Yoda. Like it just didn't make sense.
She didn't say she was gonna do it for free. She said, "I'm gonna take care of you, and then I can charge him more." Right?
Okay, yeah, fair. But I felt like
When he
when
gets to that
Mando
movie, I
actually
guess,
got
yeah.
there, he does pay her, but I feel like she would have been like, no worries.
I
This
think
is-
so, too.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't know. It was very weak for me. Like that whole character, I hated.
I think I was with Dylan the whole setup. I would rather just had Baby Yoda sleep, but even then, so we just had the last episode where he was inches away from death. If Cara Dune wasn't there, Baby Yoda's dead. And then to begin this episode, there's a bounty hunter after him trying to get off the ship.
Yeah.
I don't buy for a second. To me, this is
Yeah.
some of the worst right ever. He leaves him in the ship. And I know you said, "Oh, it's Tatooine, it's dangerous." I would think you having Baby Yoda with guns versus Baby Yoda alone in a ship, the likelihood of him surviving is with the Mando still. What if he just got back and Yoda was just fucking mutilated and gutted? It's like, why did that happen? Well, because you left the ship. yeah, I guess you're right. Like, we just saw in the episode
Yeah,
when
like
he's
what if a bounty hunter came and killed Frizzy?
100. Yeah, she's not gonna do anything to the stupid TT droids or whatever. Like, that's the thing. We saw in episode 3. Yeah, he was walking around with Baby Yoda and it was dangerous, but he found a way out. Some was luck, some was skill, but he got out of there.
Yeah.
I don't buy, and that's what I mean. They've just made him not even luck thing. He's just dumb now. Like, you
Yeah,
left
and
this
that-
huge thing that we just saw in the span of our time zone, 5 minutes with each other trying to be killed. It's just like zero
And
sense.
They could have like rewritten it just a bit too, where let's say you get to that scene where Mando and Toro decide to just like wait for the night.
Mhm.
Like, what if Mando was like, okay, well, we're on kind of a time constraint. I don't want to leave Baby Yoda, so we need to go right now, and that's why he gets shot a bunch. Like,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter anyway,
Yeah,
right?
make
'Cause
him be
he
dumb
still gets
because
shot
he's-
by her anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what if like they just kind of had to rush, and that was the result of what happened on you? I still think you need a better reason for how Toro gets behind her.
Yeah.
He drops the stupid one-liner.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't know.
Toro.
It just felt like it was really strange for him after like, because at this point, like, how long has he been with baby like Avocado? We've discussed this.
Probably a couple months now.
Right? That's a long time for
Yeah.
him to just like leave
Yeah.
him with Frizzy after he knows how dangerous.
And how does
it
he
is.
not know? What if she gets information and same thing? She goes, "I'm gonna take this Baby Yoda somewhere else." She doesn't like. We're joking that she's a bad character, but what if she turned and was like, he just gets back and everyone's gone?
So here's my counter to this. So he didn't leave Baby Yoda and then just go off on the job. He left Baby Yoda in there in basically this compartment sleeping while he went out straight to the cantina, probably to check for work and then go back to the ship. He made
Okay.
it very brief.
Mhm.
He wasn't going there and then immediately just taking off and going on a
yeah,
job.
I'm with
Yeah.
you on this.
He went
He didn't have the
back.
job
He
yet
went
when he
back to
left,
the
yeah.
ship, and then
Mhm.
obviously he saw the scenario where okay, she's willing to take care of him.
Mhm.
This is okay to a certain degree. I can just quickly go deal with this job and then come back.
But he didn't do it quickly. He left. He sat there overnight. What was his protection for Baby Yoda? Her? That's the
Yeah.
thing. I still don't buy. You can be like,
In
oh,
like the only civilization part of Tatooine, or at least that we know of, right?
Yeah,
like,
which-
that's where everyone's gonna go if
and-
they're gonna go there.
and even though the huts are gone, Tatooine's always known as like a scummy, dangerous place. Sure, it might be nice, but we don't know that as the viewers. And that's saying like, yeah, that he could go back and be like, I can trust her, but to be like, I can trust her with Baby Yoda's life. No, like
But he did it with a random barkeeper. He's kind of just
Well, yeah, I know.
doing it.
Yeah, and that wasn't great either. But the thing is, at least he is in walking distance of the Baby Yoda. He can hope that. I think that's dumb, but at least maybe he could hear something. He's 10, 15 feet
And
away.
also when
This
he
is
did-
he's
yeah.
miles and miles
And
away.
Think about it, from the time that he did that, leaving Avocado with the barkeeper. Like there's been like at least a month since then, right?
Mhm.
Because we discussed that they had probably been on that whatever that planet is that we were on last episode for like a long time, right? Like at least a few
Yeah, they were
weeks.
about a month or so.
Yeah.
They said a few weeks. Yeah.
So I don't know. You would think over that time that maybe a stronger bonded form. You'd think with all the dangerous stuff that goes on, like maybe he realizes he needs to be safer with the kid.
And even then,
But-
to me, you could say, okay, he left Yoda, but then he saw that Baby Yoda, clearly the avocado just left and escaped. So it's like, well, the avocado's not going to do what I say. So I think now he would learn from that. Be like, I can't just leave him here because he could just go. Because if Frizzy's not in that ship, she's not in that thing, Yoda was walking out. So what would have stopped him from just kept walking straight if
Yeah.
there's no Frizzy? So that's the thing. Like, they showed, okay, he's an escape artist, so maybe you should not let him escape anymore. But man, I was like, no, I'll just do the same thing
Yeah,
over.
just gonna
He's
trust
fine.
Frizzy to keep him.
Yeah, he's asleep. It's fine.
But I
like,
mean,
no.
you don't have many options here. You need to make money. You have a person who, based on his judge of character, which Mandalorian's been pretty good at that, I would say, is willing to let this lady take care of him while he goes on an exceedingly dangerous job. Because as he details, yes, we didn't get to see her perform adequately in the show, but based on her reputation, she is one of the most dangerous cartel assassins out there, and he has to go and deal with this so he can get that money so he can continue
Yeah.
on protecting his Baby Yoda. He's in a desperate situation where he has to make a call, and unfortunately it is maybe not the smartest call, but it's the only call that he can
Okay, but
make.
Kim, I would counter that by saying that he was in Tatooine for all of 5 minutes when he gets like offered this thing from
Yeah.
some really sketchy fucking dude in the first place, right? Like, I
And
don't know.
he
Maybe
brought
if
that
he just
guy
walked
back.
around the block in Tatooine, maybe he found someone else who has a job for him that's like less dangerous or less like risky, right? Leaving Baby Yoda behind.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
why?
he just like takes the first deal with like this kind of weird dude who destroys this fob right in front of him and is being just generally weird.
It's all up here. And why would he bring Toro to the location where Baby Yoda is so Toro could learn where he is? That's so dumb. Because when he goes, I know how to get Mando, he goes back and gets Frizzy and gets Baby Yoda. Why would Mando even risk that and let anyone know?
because he
Well,
doesn't care. Is like
no.
kind of the way that this episode makes it.
He doesn't
come
care, but then
across.
again, it's him possibly trying to make connections because obviously Cara Dune, it didn't form out like a great start at the beginning,
Yeah.
but this could have been a possible good connection that he could have had into the guild if it worked out to his benefit.
Yeah.
and he again didn't know that anyone else outside of the guild was aware about what he did. Getting Baby Yoda out of there. So I wouldn't have expected her to just blab about that to this guy to try and sway him over. And she didn't even know that he knew that was the same Mandalorian. She was playing a risky game, whether or not it would pull off.
But that's the thing. Last episode, they established, like you said, that the stakes are higher. So clearly, word about him is spreading. That's where I feel like he would now be
there's
more.
a bounty hunter on Tatooine waiting
Yeah.
for him, pretty much.
Yeah, and there's bounty hunter in the sky that just tried to take him out. And like that's the thing where Baby Yoda almost his head was almost blown off, and Mandalorian was 10 feet away. 10 feet away. So I still think even taking him on this mission is a lot more. And then even then, you could add more, maybe it's budget things, but Yoda doing stuff with the Force, more adventures. That's the thing. Like, I still think him taking Yoda on the mission is much more safe than him just leaving there regardless. And same thing, like, you don't know what happens if Mando goes on this mission and gets captured and he's gone for a week. Yeah, if Baby Yoda's with him, he might die, but at least he knows. If you're gone for a week, it's just...
It kind of makes me curious, like, what the contract, or what the bounty, I should say, against Mando is. Like, is it just kill this guy, or is it kill this guy and save this little creature that he has with him?
It's kill or bring in the Baby Yoda.
So
for
all
sure.
the bounty hunters know that they're looking for that little kid?
Yeah, and I'm
that's,
pretty
like, kind
sure
of
it's
priority.
kill
Well, do they know it's a
Mando.
kid, though? Because even the assassin said a high valuable asset.
It said a kid.
Did
and
it say
then-
kid?
Yeah, because then the bounty hunter was like, "Oh yeah, well he had a baby or he had a kid or whatever."
Right.
That was.
Oh,
the,
see,
Okay,
but I thought
so-
she said a high asset, and he
No,
said, "Oh, he had a kid."
it
so
was
like-
the kid
yeah.
that made him realize
So
because
let's
he saw the
say-
kid at the hangar.
Let's say the bounty is like kind of in two parts, right? It's like priority is bring the kid or bring the fucking avocado.
avocado.
Thing. Yeah. Can kill the Mandalorian if you can, but like the priority is to get this avocado. Well, wouldn't any like halfway decent bounty hunter at least like scope him out first when he gets to Tatooine and like just wait there for a bit? And wow, luckily within an hour he's fucking out here. This kid is here with this lady who has no defenses, so they could just take the baby and leave.
Yeah.
Or like any halfway decent bounty hunter would do that instead of just charging him as soon as he lands on Tatooine like that fucking guy did.
Yeah, and same
The
thing.
guy
and that's the weird.
what do you
thing,
mean the guy charged him when he landed on Tatooine? No bounty hunter apprehended him when he landed on Tatooine.
Well, who's that guy that like shot at Baby Yoda when he gets on the planet then?
Like the last planet on the last episode.
Are you talking about the last episode?
Well,
they were on the
at the
forest
start, and then
planet?
like Baby Yoda's like behind the barrel. Like what happens there at the beginning?
No, I think you're confusing the end with the beginning. That's when Toro goes back
Yeah,
and
that's
has
at
him
the
at
very end.
gunpoint. Yeah, that's
Okay.
at the very end. But still the point that I was saying that Dylan is right on. I think, they'd want the Mando dead, but why didn't this guy just take Baby Yoda and leave? Because Baby Yoda, I still feel like would be
Because
worth
she put,
money
She
than...
put the idea in his head that if you take out the Mandalorian,
I guess, yeah,
and
fair
he
enough.
was
She said
looking
the
at
legend thing.
legendary.
Yeah,
Right,
he wanted
legend.
that.
It reminded me of
He wanted
Tenacious
prestige.
D.
legend
Remember that
status.
episode?
What's that?
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'll give you that one.
Tenacious D in the Pick of Destiny when he's like thinking about getting the pick. He's like legendary.
That was
Legendary.
Toro.
That was literally Toro, and I just kept thinking of that scene. It was
And I just
hilarious.
hated their scene when he's watching Min Yang, and that's the actress that plays her, and she's like, "Oh, and he's just like, "Quiet, you." Like, I'm sorry, that guy's acting, whether it was scripting, whatnot,
Ugh.
it just did not work, and it really took me out this whole episode. Even though the episode was great, it couldn't have been saved. Because Frizzy, I didn't like the character, but I thought she was doing the character like well enough. I just think it was out of place. Him, it was just, it didn't feel natural. It didn't feel like a
Yeah.
Star Wars guy. He feels like he's in some sci-fi's 2000 show.
Oh, yeah.
I got 2 points I'll
Toro.
point out.
And isn't he dead?
Yeah,
Toro?
he,
Okay.
he got fucking popped.
I was surprised when you were talking about non-spoilers where they might go with that character.
Yeah.
Well,
that was good.
that's one of
Okay.
my points.
Okay.
He's
I
not fully dead.
I was really confused. in
But
non-spoilers.
what was my first point?
What was it?
Fuck, I had it. God
I
damn it.
apologize. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I got my second point. It was Taurus.
You sound really
So-
angry. We need
Yeah,
to get this.
It was a
resolved.
good point. With Taurus. Oh, I remember the
Taurus.
first point. I remember- I
first
remember-
name. You know him like
I got the
Taurus.
first point.
All right.
So
Taurus.
the reason I think again he was not lenient on bringing baby avocado with him again, like you look at that scenario where he brought baby avocado with him to fight the Mudhorn, and he almost got killed by the Mudhorn, but luckily
Yeah.
the Mandalorian intervened. So I think that was one of those scenarios where he realized he can't always bring him along for certain things. With that being said, with the bounty hunter that you guys aren't fond of, there was that moment when he was sitting at
not
Han's.
fond of is a nice way to put it. Yeah.
He was
Yeah, but
sitting in
okay, but
Han's-
no, because if the thing is like, yes, it's dangerous to bring the kid along, But then that's also a decision he's making to not bring the kid with him
Mm-hmm.
and have no defense for the kid.
Mhm.
The only defense being that I'm no longer here. So if someone's specifically looking for just him, then they're not going to find the kid with
It's
him.
Frizzy.
But isn't that like
it
that's
is.
like
It's
that's a
Frizzy or
massive
It is
bust.
really, it's like a 50-50 chance of what could go wrong. You could put the kid in harm's way with this top
This
tier
is
assassin.
This is why
or
I'm
somewhere
s-
So
relatively
a
safe.
50-50 risk, that's a fucking huge ratio, right?
He's a bounty hunter.
No, what I don't
Jesus.
get. I don't know again if it's a budgetary thing, but why? Cara Dune didn't have to be in the whole show, but what if at the end of the episode she needed to leave, but he says, "Catch a ride with me"? I would have been completely fine if it was her and Baby Yoda back at the thing where
Yeah.
Cara Dune, and
Yeah,
then
true.
and then the episode she splits off like, "Oh, yeah, whatever, I'm gonna go my own path." Why didn't they do that? They had
Yeah,
it right
that's-
there.
that's
You
a
have
really
a
good point.
badass ex like rebellion soldier that I would have had zero
yeah,
complaints.
and maybe that comes down to
and she could be mouthing
Yeah.
on Frizzy.
Yeah.
maybe that has something to do with the fact that this is like kind of directed and even this episode written by different people. Is like
Yeah.
they're just trying to keep each episode its own thing, right? They have
Yeah.
like their own set of characters and they move on. But
Monster of the week.
from a
sort of
story
deal.
perspective, that's a great solution. Like,
Yeah.
handed
Yeah, I
to you on a
agree.
silver platter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that bounty hunter guy, when he was sitting in Han's chair,
Oh,
he
fuck
was
that guy.
flicking.
Yeah, I can't believe he
uh,
was sitting. The audacity they put him in that.
There's
chair.
been lots of aliens that have sat in that
But
chair.
this
over the
guy-
With his
year.
legs up on the fucking
Yeah.
counter.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Jesus.
But
The
he was
fucking
flipping.
earring.
He was
Oh,
flipping a coin
God.
that had the rebellion, the New Republic Rebellion
Mhm.
logo on it. And I was really wondering, okay, what is that going to play into? Obviously, I'm not going to get his Black Series figure, but like,
Please don't.
there
Please
must be
don't.
some kind of more backstory. So it would be something I'd be interested in reading. And like, where is he coming from? And like, what was the point of him showing that? If it was just a little Easter egg or something.
Well, that's
but
the thing. I would say there's a point, but as someone that's watching Clone Wars, check out Clone Wars Retros. That's back. Season 4 is we just dropped it. It's going all the way until February when the show comes back. Filoni so many times just
That
puts
was a very
in.
efficient plug.
yeah. Filoni so many times just puts in fan service. Like, look at this, look
Ooh.
at that, and that's what. But that's the problem. He doesn't create substance with it, and I think that was
Oh,
just to show. Oh, look, the new rebel. I think that's all just like the new rebellion's forming.
I'd be
Great.
choked if that is the case.
You
I
won't
mean,
be
there-
choked.
No,
You
no,
won't
I
be.
would be.
In a
because
year, you'll be
that's-
like, whatever. I love Dave.
The New Republic is something that I want to know and learn more about because there's a lot of crazy shit that happened with them and the rise of the First Order. But it's
But we might
something-
learn that in episode 9. We don't know.
Yeah.
JJ's been hinting about it.
It's something that I would hate to see just kind of like sprinkled in there because Filoni definitely loves to do like
He
the
does
fan
that all the
service stuff,
time, so-
and there are some times when he just fucking
He's a-
fills it. It is
yeah,
juicy.
He's a junkie.
There
for
is
that
so
lore.
much gravy in it, you know. And
Did this guy direct Rogue One? I don't know.
yeah, no.
Filoni loves a good turkey.
But
It's dry.
Christmas
sandy.
party, $10,000
Course
tier. You
and
get the
rough.
joke.
um,
I hate turkey. It's
But
coarse
yeah, I
and
just-
rough. Gets everywhere.
I'd love to know more about that, that character in general. But I'm curious to see where they're going with that end character. Now you said
Well,
that
yeah, I
person
wanted to bring
walking
this
up
up
with
next.
the cloak was Boba Fett, and
No. I asked you if it was because that is the main speculation. Because you hear the spurs, and that's you call yourself a Star Wars fan. What spurs on Boba Fett?
Boba
Fett's-
doesn't have spurs.
Okay, please go do a search on the internet. All the videos already comparing. Like, look at Boba's spurs. Look at this guy's
Let me ask
spurs.
you
So
this:
you're
what is a spur?
The cowboy spurs,
like on
I've
the back
never
of your
seen-
boots. When
Okay.
they, so, anyways, the guy has
They go shh.
the guy has a shoulder
You're right,
cape.
I should have known.
If you just type in Boba Fett spurs, it's gonna come up. But yeah, that's a big speculation right now because they're on Tatooine.
You're gonna get some risky stuff if you Google that.
yeah, they're on Tatooine. The guy has a shoulder cape and spurs that people are thinking it's Boba Fett. My thing is, I don't think it is, but that to me is the problem of if it's not, and if it's just the guy from Breaking Bad, Giancarlo Esposito, why did they do this whole hiding a character? And that is another thing to me is like they don't have much substance for next episode. So it's like, who is this episode? But he had
That's the front of his
fuck
boots.
is that?
Yeah, but look at the.
That's
Look,
like
you
a
can't even
fucking
spur
Valley
a
Village
spur.
Halloween
and you
costume.
can't even see the back of his boots technically.
Okay, that is the full back of his boot.
Can you
there,
zoom
and
up on that picture?
That's not what
That's a full
He
replica
has-
costume there.
he.
That's
he
not-
has
that's
the
like
sa-
a fucking cosplayer's
the
costume.
sound when
Not saying
Boba
it's
Fett
bad, I'm
walks.
just saying it's not official.
The sound when Boba Fett walks, he has the same sound. But my thing is, I don't think it's gonna be Boba Fett, so I don't understand why they hid that character's face. I think they're
the
on
only
purpose.
thing he has are boot spikes on the front of his boots.
What did you search up
I typed in Boba Fett spurs. This is all I'm getting.
from images or did
On images.
look at articles?
Look at articles, baby. Not just
Well,
those
I
headlines.
prefer looking at visual proof
Yeah, oh,
as
yeah,
to what
yeah.
someone types on Wikipedia.
But either
That's
way,
the
either
Wikipedia.
way, I don't think it's Boba Fett, and that to me is disappointing because
I
they
don't even know what
didn't.
you're talking about, honestly.
So the guy at the end when he's walking up to the female
Oh,
assassin
okay.
and then he kneels down and
Right,
cuts
right,
before
right.
it sees his face. To me, you do that if it is a big character, someone we know. If it is somebody that we have not met, that's big docking points for me because they're just, to me, that's their way of trying to be like, oh, we're on Tatooine and it looks like Boba Fett. It's
Yeah.
Boba
Yeah.
Fett. The next episode is just gonna be some guy
Gonna
like.
be Boro Talakan.
Yeah,
What if
yeah,
it is
Toro's
Boba Fett,
brother.
though?
Then I'll applaud him and say
Yeah.
that's good. That's why you hide it. But that's
Yeah.
why you hide a reveal like that. If it's just a new character, why not reveal that
Yeah.
character? It
I'm-
makes no sense.
I'm in your
so.
camp. If it's not Boba Fett, I'll be
Yeah.
one, I'll be disappointed that they hid the character if we don't even know who the fuck they are. Because
Yeah.
it's just, what's the point? And then two, what's the point of bringing us to Tatooine if we're not getting someone that, like, there's a purpose for going to Tatooine.
They're on-
like,
on-
story wise.
They're on purpose being cheeky, like, oh look, if
Yeah.
they don't do it, oh look, it might be Boba Fett. And I honestly don't like that. I like that if you think it's Boba Fett and then the guy kneels down like, oh, they got me. But to leave it as a cliffhanger, nah, that's not cool. That's some lame Filoni shit
So,
right there.
Lame.
Like,
Filoni.
Filoni. Buffoni.
when I
Buffoni,
watched
Dave
this,
Buffoni.
I did not expect it to be Boba Fett. That was the last thing that I thought
Spurs.
because
I wasn't thinking about it.
I was not thinking it was Boba Fett at all, and I don't know where the fuck these spurs are coming from. Even on the articles, I didn't see it.
Just
people were talking about it.
Go to
How many
Twitter,
articles did you read in the
Go
last
to
minute?
Twitter,
3.
right? Boba
Nice.
Fett Spurs, and
Nice.
it's all in there. The official Boba Fett fan club, which has 100,000 and a verified on Twitter, right? Where we put hashtag Spurs.
I
So
need to
verified
see
on
these
Twitter.
spurs.
You're-
Someone submit a photo of
Maybe-
Boba Fett.
Maybe there's
Spurs.
somewhere else. I don't know, but he has the same sound as
I
Spurs. when
need
he's
to
walking.
see these spurs. I don't know, but yeah, I was not expecting it to be Boba Fett. That didn't pop into my mind. Some people were saying it could be the chicken guy
The
from
chicken?
Breaking Bad, who's the Imperial dude.
I thought you were talking about the chicken from Family
Yeah,
Guy.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yes.
I think it is. I
Is he
think
even-
that's
I
what
don't think it is because I don't think he's a high military Imperial. He obviously, we've seen him with a TIE fighter. We've seen him in the trailers with a squad of death troopers. He's not just walking in the middle of the
He's
desert
an
by
ordinary
himself.
schmuck. Yeah.
No, he's no ordinary schmuck. He's not going to be alone just walking up to this assassin
Yeah.
unless, I don't know. It's just, I wasn't expecting Boba Fett. It didn't even pop into my mind. But I was expecting it to be.
How did he happen upon her again?
I'm assuming it was the rendezvous because she made a good point or a strong point of saying, I need to get to my rendezvous, and if I meet with you,
But
I'll
she wasn't
pay you
at the
double."
She
rendezvous.
wasn't at the rendezvous.
No, but she
got
was
shot in the
she
gut.
was going to try and get there. But obviously, this guy probably went out
So he
and
just
tracked
looked
her
around
down.
nearby. Maybe he had a fob on her too.
You're not gonna
maybe.
hear right now, I don't think. But
What are you looking?
The
He's-
Spurs.
That's a spur for
But
sure.
you know what? in 6 years, Boba Fett could have upped the ante. He could have popped some Clint Eastwood Spurs on
Yeah,
there.
I-
That's
So-
that's true. I mean, we see these Mandalorians like to swag out on the regular.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
because some people
But-
point out, oh, his armor is not the same, but it has been 6 years, and he got fucking eaten by a creature. So, and there is canon that someone found that armor, right? So, I feel like you could have a new look, have it be Boba Fett, a similar look, but I just think they're being close, like.
Yeah, like
it-
if that's how you die, you probably don't want to wear the same garb.
Yeah.
You don't want to
No.
be known as that
It's
guy.
the same way like we've talked about with episode 9. If they're doing all this, oh, it's Ian's voice, it's the Emperor, but if it turns around, it's a young actor playing him, everyone in the theater is going to go, oh, fuck. And that's why I feel like this is the same way next week that some hardcore fans already, everyone's like, it's Boba Fett. There's articles all over, like, classic character returns to Star Wars. Next week is, if it's just Giancarlo Esposito, someone's going to be like, oh, it's a great actor, but fuck this guy. It's not Boba Fett. Unless, well, I guess he can't be black because Boba Fett wasn't black, but that because we hadn't fucking prequels
Falling in
ruined
that pit can change a man.
yeah, true. He could have been black into the prequels. That
Sunburn.
would have been great. Just take it off and like, oh, that's old Boba. But
I you know, I'm not upset. Like if it was Boba, then that's outstanding. Like for me, like I wasn't expecting it to be Boba Fett, so it's not like gonna be a deal breaker for me. But
Yeah.
I'm willing to. I do love Dave Filoni, and
You do.
remember
you do.
he loves to just sprinkle things in. You know, as I said,
Yeah.
a lot of gravy, and I feel like this was just him putting that.
He's a canon junkie.
Putting that roast into
Gets
the
off on
oven.
that
You know,
canon.
he wants us to wait an hour and a half. You know, for
So
that
you-
roast to come out
so
all
y-
succulent.
you don't think we know who that character is next week? You think
Serendipitous.
that's
No,
left off for a while?
I am willing to agree that I think it's probably Boba Fett because him
That wasn't my question.
I'm willing to agree that I think it's Boba Fett.
yeah.
My question
fuck
was,
is that
is that
sentence?
revealed next week or not? Because you're saying it's an oven turkey roasting.
I think it's revealed next week because we still
Really?
get characters like that Twi'lek and we get
Oh,
to see
yeah.
the guy with the Predator shoulder cannon. Cara Dune
Bill
makes
Burr.
a comeback as
Yeah.
well.
Cara Dune.
is that
so-
confirmed she's coming back?
There are scenes in the trailer of her in like a desert scenario in like a house, which we didn't get to see
Okay.
on the forest planet. But I do believe that we'll probably see that in the next episode.
Maybe she was planned to be in this episode. They cut her.
For Frizzy.
That's yeah, for Frizzy. You never know. You
You never know with Dave Filoni. He does some wild,
Just some wild
wild
things.
stuff.
But I have faith that this episode, as much as it was a filler, it was obviously implanted.
You've turned off.
No,
The
hear
group
me out,
chats when
hear
I
me
talk
out,
to you and I
hear
said
me out,
filler,
hear me out.
No, not at all. Because I said, tell me how his character progresses or the main story
Hear
progresses.
me out. As much as, yes, I will agree this was a filler,
Wow.
it set the foundation and starting point for something bigger. That's why we got the
We
cliffhanger.
don't know that. We don't know
and
that.
Yeah.
We do know that.
But
the
the
cliffhanger.
I don't count 10 seconds of an episode.
We
that
also
you
don't
could,
know what happens with that yet.
Yeah.
Right?
You could add that 10 seconds to any episode. I'm not going to count that anyone says, oh, it's not filler because we learned that. No. That's just like a last minute, like when you're trying to fill in your paragraphs at school and you got to hit 500 words and you use just like, this is very, very, very good.
Serendipitous.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would never do that. I don't think Dave Filoni would ever do such a thing.
He has. I've seen his work. He does it all the time.
I have a couple kind of random questions. So
Canon me.
one, where was he going before the space battle and impromptu Tatooine stop?
We don't know. He just left Sorgan and he was just on this
So
way.
have we seen his ship go lightspeed? Like, can his ship go lightspeed?
Yeah, we've seen him make the jump a few times.
All right.
Hyperspace.
So I guess I'm just curious, like, I don't know how far these planets are apart. Like, how much fuel does he have to use? Because it feels like he's just kind of stopping at random places. And I feel like that would spend a lot of fuel to go. Like, I don't know. It seems like he's just going random places for no reason. Obviously, Tatooine, because he kind of gets fucked up in that space.
Well,
battle.
last week he went to because he thought it was gonna be a good home, right? He did go there for that reason.
Okay.
But I'm assuming that's where he just keeps going to planets that he thinks will be great for Baby Yoda, which I think is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
I feel like you should be like, I gotta go.
Yeah, I
find
guess
these
I'm
people
just
and kill
curious,
them.
like, his overarching plan. Like,
Yeah, it'd be
whereas,
nice.
and obviously, yeah, I mean, I guess the space battle really throws a wrench in things because that's why he had to stop on Tatooine. Who knows how his ship was doing before that, but. I'm curious how fuel works in like the Star Wars
Yeah.
universe.
They
I've
never really
never
touch
thought about
upon
it
it.
until until
Well,
this season.
What are you specifically wondering about fuel?
Well, because like
then?
he's low on money, but like he's probably spending a shit ton of money on fuel to go between all these planets.
I'm not sure how many gallons and liters you need in like
I don't need to know
an
that
engine,
information.
but like I do believe from what
the
I've
tank.
seen with Star Wars ships,
can they just go light? Like light speed probably spends a lot of fuel. No,
it does.
That's
like,
why it's like they kind of do it in limited bursts in various movies.
in Last Jedi, for example, they only had
Yeah.
enough fuel for one more jump,
Yeah,
but they
exactly.
couldn't make it because
Oh,
they
I
only
can't
tracked.
wait to go
But
watch that.
One more
ships in Star Wars, they can make several jumps on one load of fuel. Like it's not
ship's pretty
it's
small,
not a
too.
problem. Smaller ships
Yeah.
too. It's not going to be like ride or die. Like
Yeah.
3 jumps is all you get. I'm pretty sure you probably get like at least like 10 jumps or whatever like that. But if you're going like really far distances, then it changes everything.
Mhm.
And again, you have to remember traveling through hyperspace. I'm assuming that's not using as much fuel because you're in a different portion of time or a different portion of space where you're just cutting through going faster.
But it's still a limited resource. Right?
It is. Yeah.
And he's like low on money. So he probably should. I don't know. I guess it's fine if we don't know where he's going. I just guess I'm curious from like a meta perspective. Like, what the fuck is his plan? Like,
Well,
does
at
he even
this-
have one?
at
Because you don't
this
really
point,
get any
he's
sort of
trying to find
narration.
Thanos' planet.
And since we like, he doesn't really talk to other characters about that so much.
He
I
definitely was, obviously trying to find a location for baby Avocado, like on
But
Sorgan.
that's
But
what he-
that
it-
changed
that
when
one,
he was
yeah.
being chased off towards
Yeah.
Tatooine, where he had to get
guess.
repairs.
So now
But
what
I
is he
think
doing?
Now
right?
at this point, since we've passed the middle part of the season, I think he's going to realize he's got to go to the attackers and he's got to cut off.
But
who's
what have they
pursuing
told
him.
us he's doing? That's my point. When Dylan brings up too. That's my problem. We have 3 episodes left. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know where
Well,
he's
that's
going.
where I
why
think the
he's
next
going.
episode we're gonna get a clear message, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking probably how it's gonna start. We're gonna get him realizing, okay, he knows he needs to go after the head because we know he goes after the Imperial. We know
Yeah.
that he's gonna do something
Yeah,
very
I guess
drastic.
I'm curious. Like, I don't know what the best way to do it is. I just want to know some information on like what his plan is. I don't know how you do that. Like whether it's a conversation with Avocado, even if Avocado can't understand, like it's still just a way for him to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Because there isn't really narration. You don't hear like the thoughts inside his head. He could talk to other characters about it, but I think part of it is that he's finding it really hard to trust people for obvious reasons
we're still due for one more flashback, I believe, as well.
Oh, we're definitely getting that flashback.
Yeah, there's
I
I
think
definitely
gotta go to
smart.
another barracks.
Another
armor.
Concord.
I think that's gonna be.
It's
in
kind of
the
what the
finale.
assassin lady was talking about, right? It was like his planet that got
Yeah.
destroyed or something. So
Yeah.
yeah.
The Great Purge.
Yeah, I guess that was not really canon questions. I was just kind of curious. Like, he seems like he's. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I don't know if he's low on money and just kind of fucking around, wasting fuel. Seems like a weird thing to do. But then again, I have no idea what the economy is like for fuel. Like, For me, it's like, man, I have
Well,
to buy
business is
gas for my
booming.
car. Like,
He-
I'm gonna notice that. It's like
he's got to make some real good money. The Imperial credits are obviously a dying currency, but still, valuable and usable. But he used all his best scar basically to deck himself
He went a bit
out.
too ham on that.
Yeah, he went all
armor,
about that armor.
Oh, yeah.
We've all been there in video games.
Yeah.
So.
100%.
Damn it.
All about those
I can't
cosmetics.
have no ammo, but I look awesome.
Drop $100 on loot boxes for fucking Overwatch. It.
Yeah, I need to skip Dave Filoni.
I don't know. I one miscellaneous note I had is I know what you guys talked about in the first episode, but that fucking intro is so great. Like with all the masks,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the
Oh,
lighting,
yeah.
just fucking they nailed it. That's just
My
amazing.
question is, are they going to do that when the movie happens? Before the movie?
Yeah,
Episode
like, is that
9.
like exclusive for the TV shows
Yeah.
on Disney Plus?
I think it's
I think it's a
exclusive for the
Disney
TV
Plus
shows.
thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just because I thought they were trying to make it like their Marvel,
Yeah.
Right, they
right? So
renovated it. Yeah.
I still think they should do it. To be honest, to be like people be like, oh, what is that, or get that familiar. But I don't
the
think
new
they
Star
will.
Wars,
But
new
yeah,
era.
it's just, why not
It's-
before the movie starts?
It's funny how it's not all iconic characters. Like they got Kylo Ren in there and C-3PO. but
Kylo
there's
Ren's
like
an iconic character.
yeah, but there's like one random rebel trooper like helmeted dude
that's for
in there.
you type of. That's for the Dave Filoni fans.
It's
and
for
that's
the Fafonies.
that's because yeah, the
They're
Dave
Filoni,
the
like,
Filoni
you get one
phonies.
mask, buddy.
That's the
What's it
fan
gonna
base,
be?
the Filoni phonies right there. No, and I think it's just because you can't use like Ray or Luke's face. Like there's not going to shine right like a mask. That's why they're using shiny
Hey,
characters.
Ray's
No, think
shiny
face would
characters.
all the
shine.
characters. They're droids or masked like good guys, bad guys. There's no just skin. So
Is
No
Phasma
skin.
in there?
I
Phasma.
don't know. It just looks like a
Kylo Ren,
stormtrooper.
C-3PO.
There's Vader.
Oh, Vader was in there.
Vader.
Oh.
R2's in it. I'm pretty sure as
R2's in
well.
it?
Yeah.
It's a Vader.
Yeah, it's a good
I thought you
intro.
hate
I hate Vader.
Vader. Shut up, Vader.
I wouldn't say I hate Vader. I'd say I
Yeah.
dislike Vader.
Yeah, overrated.
Oh, highly overrated
Yeah.
for sure.
I got just a few notes. I like the "she got the high ground" comment. That was great. A little shout out
For the
to
Canon
that.
boys.
Anakin.
For the Filonies.
Yeah, this episode felt very prequely, which,
Oh yeah.
like, in theory, is a good thing for me because I fucking love the prequels. They're just so bad and so much fun.
Very meme
you
worthy.
can't do the
but at the
prequels
same
without
time,
George.
yeah,
need
you
George.
can't. Like, that was like an early 2000s thing, and it's hard to nail that magic in
It's
2019.
aged well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny because some people are saying there's rumors like, oh, George has his hands more in the Mandalorian than movies. I'm like, oh no, maybe if that's true, I'm starting to see it. There's certain music when she finds Baby Yoda or the avocado I did not like. It was this. That's the only negative I say of the score. It was very like kiddie and almost like Jar Jar Binks like freakish again.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, I didn't like that, so that sucked. And this is not even a con. I'm just trying to get this back. What was their plan? So at one point, Mandalorian, they got the assassin, and then he went to get back go get the dewback, right? What was their plan for him to get the dewback, ride all the way there, and then ride all the way back as well?
Like
I feel
with
like there's
her,
some
I think,
wasting.
right?
But why didn't they also drive along with the Mandalorian? So right when they got the dewback, they could just all go at the same time instead of Mandalorian coming back. That's what I was
That's a
trying to
good
figure out the
question.
logistics of it. Other than just so they could be alone to have that conversation.
Maybe they thought the assassin would just like strangle him if she's on the back. I
And
don't know.
and the thing is too, so Mandalorian, of course, he's riding there with the dewback. He's just like, oh, because the body's dead. So he had
Fuck.
to ride the dewback all the way back to Baby Yoda. That also took him an additional maybe day. I know it was still
Yeah.
nighttime, but that must have been
No.
Dewbacks are pretty fast.
They
As
sprint.
we've
Are
seen-
they?
As we've seen in A New Hope,
I got the vibe
stormtroopers
that was
got
like
to
a-
the
I
shuttle
got the
I
vibe
pod
didn't
that was
see
like
it
an-
in the New Hope.
In A New Hope, the stormtroopers
When?
were on dewbacks.
When?
They got to as soon as that pod crash landed and the droids went out, the
Isn't that
stormtroopers were there.
Isn't that special edition stuff?
No, look, sir, droids. There was dewbacks and stuff.
But were they riding the dewbacks in
Yeah.
the very original?
No.
No, they were not. So fuck George Lucas and his stupid special edition crap. So
It's
I
still in
love
the
those.
movie.
I just
guys.
didn't. Fair enough. I just didn't see them move fast. But either way, I just felt it was strange for him. I'm gonna get the dewback. We're gonna go here, and then we're gonna go back. It's just to me, it felt like, oh, they need to be alone for a few minutes. All right, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Just or all walk to the dewback. You all fit on there, you know.
Yeah.
Like just have. I don't. It just. I don't know. It was weird. Just weird. That's
Just-
all my notes.
Yeah. I hated the Toro character.
Toro.
I hated when he shot her. I was just like, I don't know.
I'm gonna be a legend.
Yeah,
All
just-
right.
Not so fast.
all right, Macklemore.
He was very un-Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah, I
like,
agree.
yeah, and he's trying to be Han Solo, sitting like him and everything,
He's
and
fine.
he didn't have the gravitas.
He didn't have it.
of a Han Solo.
And even then,
You
I'm
have it or you don't.
I'm
Yeah.
fine. I don't think they're going for him to be Han Solo. I think they're going for the poser guy, but then I just think the acting wasn't there to be.
No.
If you're going to be that fake, you
yeah,
know.
for me, with that character is mostly acting.
I
mean,
agree. I agree.
I-
I'm
would
hoping
say.
it's a mixture of writing too, because I kind of feel bad just shitting on an
I
actor
think
like
it is.
that. Yeah.
I think from most of the episodes.
Yeah, we were giving it enough to Filoni this
Yeah.
episode. Give
Yeah,
him
that's
a
fair.
break.
Did you see the concept art in the episode for him? him. It's Orlando Bloom. So it's funny. Like clearly
Really?
they probably didn't want Orlando Bloom, but it's like we want Orlando Bloom type. And
Oh,
man,
okay.
you're far off
Do you
from
guys know
Orlando
who
Bloom.
Orlando Bloom is?
yeah, he's in Pirates.
Filoni, we know who that is.
yeah, but man, I wish it was Orlando Bloom. Like I know, and that's the thing where it's just. I don't also want popular actors, but I just feel like Star Wars should be better than whatever these actors were. I don't think they're the highest quality. Or again, maybe
They found them
what's
on
her
Tatooine.
name?
Yeah.
The real Tatooine. yeah. Yeah. I got no more notes.
Yeah,
There,
Blue.
yeah, I didn't really make notes, but there's a few comedy things that kind of worked for me. The one liner I can kind of think of is when he's just like power napping, and then the guy's like, I think he's just like doing his Toro shit, like
Yeah,
pointing
he's,
his gun at him.
threatening him.
Yeah, he's just like, "Are you done?" Like that just kind of worked for me. And then it's funny. It's funny, like a character behind the mask. You don't really know what they're like, even if their eyes are open, right? So
yeah,
when
I thought
his
his
head
eyes
turned-
were open. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if Toro had shot the Mandalorian though, and then took his armor, and that was the rest of the series?
Well, it wouldn't have done anything. It's
Taurus,
Beskar armor.
He would have shot
He
him
decked
with
himself out.
Beskar,
The
yeah, he would've fucked
Mandalorian.
that out.
Yeah.
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. Season
And then
2.
just one other comedy thing that kind of worked for me is when they're hiding behind the dune, and then he's like, "Don't worry." He's like, "Nope, she was not here." He's like, "No, I got Beskar armor. It won't go through." And he's like, "I don't have Beskar armor." He's like, "Yeah, no, you don't."
Yeah, I
It's
didn't even like that line too when
yeah.
they gave the sand people that whatever what that.
The
binos.
Yeah, that was a new one. It was new.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So like those little like one-liners kind of worked for me, but overall, I wasn't a fan of just. I mean, like the chemistry between those two, but I feel like it's mostly just because that character was just not fun to be around, and I don't know. He just sounded very.
Why did the Sand
Not
people
good.
not attack when they snuck up on them? Is it because
Yeah,
they
they
know
always
Mandalorian,
attack.
or they like have had dealings with him before?
In this case, because
I
could
just watched New
communicate-
Hope, and let me tell you, when that fucking sand person sneaks
Yeah.
up on Luke, whoever it is,
They attacked
he,
him.
he starts batting him immediately.
And in this case, as
and there wasn't even anything
Jabba's
for them to
been
sneak
gone.
over. Like they
No.
were just
Yeah.
in this.
they're just
They
there.
used the
As
Toro
Mandalorian
trick of
said,
just popping
basically.
Clear.
And what happened if they just like they were standing behind Toro, but what happened if they just like hit Toro in the neck and killed him, and then all the
They
plans were
could've.
in Toro's neck? So Mandalorian's just sitting there watching this all go down,
So-
hoping the sand people don't fucking kill this guy.
In this case, Mandalorian says that the Tusken Raiders look at everyone as like they're the locals and everyone else are Outlanders.
Yeah.
But obviously, he knows that, and he
Outlander.
obviously has
Homelander.
done dealings with them and knows how to communicate with them and has that level of respect. They obviously, when they were there, they saw him and they did not attack him, and he could full on communicate with them,
yeah.
which goes to show that he has a history with them. He has an understanding
That's what I
and
thought too,
appreciation
yeah.
for them too. So obviously, and that was something
Appreciation's
I
a
just
strong
loved.
word.
I would say an appreciation because he respected them enough not to just kill them and just invade their territory. He gave them something and was honorable about
Yeah.
it, and then progressed safely and respectively,
Mhm.
which I think that shows a nice sense of development for the Mandalorian himself, and just goes to show, even that these Tusken Raiders too. Like obviously we've seen like not just the men but the women
Yeah.
and the children too.
Yeah, I guess that.
Not just the men.
That's I guess that's one of
The
those things
women.
where like
and the children.
from the viewer's perspective, like we have a preconception of what they
Yeah.
are like, and that they're
Yeah.
super aggressive. But that was just possibly like one type of them or one clan, or in that scenario because I saw that
Yeah.
speeder and wanted to take those parts from Luke. You know.
They've done many bad things to the Skywalkers. That's all we've seen.
Yeah,
They
they
beat
weren't. There were no
Luke.
Skywalkers there, so they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
They killed Luke because his dad fucking killed their tribe. Or wanted
After
to
they
kill Luke.
brutally attacked and maybe raped his mother multiple times. That's warrant for him to.
Do we know that they took Shmi, or did Shmi willy nilly like choose to go?
She
over
chose to
Oh
go
my
with the sand
God.
people? Are you going to be that
oh my
guy?
god!
Oh, it's
Are you
because
trying to throw shit at Shmi?
Yeah.
My precious.
it's because
Shmi?
you're one of those guys. It's because what Shmi was wearing, right, guys? Those sand robes. Yeah, that's you.
Those sand robes.
Yeah.
The
Shmi is
the
pretty.
two-tone
Are we done
brown.
with this episode before we get canceled here?
I'm highly
Yeah.
done with this episode. Let's go watch Last Jedi.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna give it a 1.5 out of 5. There's a few things I like, but yeah, this made me worry a little bit. Luckily, we got some better directors coming around. This for sure made it that I do not want Filoni
Yeah.
touching a live action movie. When people were like, he should be the new Feige, he should direct a movie, not at all. And I know Taylor, you're shaking your head, but this has been the most episode I've seen people that our Facebook, they're on your side, but a lot of people are like, this was rough and this is not great.
I'm
And
gonna
this
be on
is-
there later
I
today
agree.
dropping my notes.
And he should not take over. He should not direct, but I think he should definitely
Be there.
be there
he
and
can do
help
his animation.
consultants and
Yeah,
stuff,
I'm not
so-
saying that. I think he brings good stuff.
But I
and
agree.
I think he needs the I think he needs someone a real.
Do we even
man.
know if Dave Filoni's a real guy, or do they just put his name on episodes?
No,
that
he's
The
proud of?
cowboy hat's
He's
real.
a cowboy hat. He's like
Oh no,
he's
one
like
of those guys.
Bizarro Feige who like makes bad things.
Balthazar
happen.
Feige.
No, he
He's a cowboy. Of course, he picks the fucking sand plant to go back
Yeah.
to.
Oh yeah.
And of course, check out like me and Taylor reviewing season 4 right now. There's some good stuff in there that I praise him for. So he's not
Yeah.
terrible. It's just that this and even the first episode, I liked the first episode, but it felt a little poorly directed, and he still needs a little long way to go. So 1.5 out of 5 for me.
I will give this. What do we
The
got?
fans love
90%.
this episode.
That's
Yes
173
from the
votes.
fans. and
But I will say our Facebook
Yeah.
is heavily skewed with canon Star Wars fans. Remember,
Yeah.
Taylor invited them all.
It's
So
true.
Oh yeah, we got a good.
And we love
dose
them,
of Star
and we love
Wars
them.
Yeah, we do,
canons.
and that's why I'm fine with that opinion. Otherwise, Taylor, who's checking people who's voting, look, only you and Kyle say no. That's why I knew Taylor was
But wait,
so nervous the whole day.
what are the pictures? Can I see the gifs that you used?
There was not any good Mandalorian ones yet.
No, you
so.
didn't even use one from the episode. You should have put for no.
There's
you
not
should have put.
yet.
You
There's
should have
not
put
yet.
Toro Talakan.
Why are you looking
and
at
then
me?
everyone. 'cause
I
you
did
make
the
it-
poll.
I didn't make
No,
this
I
You
poll.
should have
did.
put Taro Talakan as no.
Okay, go
'cause
find
then
my.
everyone would have.
Go find me a Toro.
That's
gift.
the last thing I want to
Toro,
do.
like,
Toro
seriously,
and
Watch
Frizz
more
are the two
Toro
options.
Talakan.
And I'm not
Toro
gonna.
and
If I saw
Frizz.
Taro Talakan on there and I saw a no, I'd click that in an instant.
And then yes for Frizz.
Yeah, Frizz. Yeah. I'm gonna give this episode 267 grains of sand out of 3 million.
Whoa,
That's
wow.
my rating.
That's not a good radio. Or radio.
That's a
ratio.
really
It's one of the
bad
worst
rating.
radios.
Anakin killed the radio. star.
Yeah, this one definitely
Ew.
the weakest episode so far in my opinion. But I don't know. Hopefully, better things are to come. I'm
I
gonna
know.
rate the show when it's all said and done. But
Yeah.
I don't know. This one took a weird turn, and I don't know. I haven't had much experience with the big Filoni, but
He's big.
not off
No,
to
he's
it
not.
because. Sorry, you said he did Clone Wars.
Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah.
Okay, he's just like
And
does he
Avatar
direct
Last
every
Airbender.
episode?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
directs it. No, he. It's same thing. That there's different directors, but he's like the showrunner of
Oh,
those
okay.
shows. Clone Wars he did with George, and then
Okay.
Rebels he did by himself.
Showrunner, is that like what Favreau is for the
Yeah,
show?
yeah, he's
Okay.
the overseer.
It's a director.
The
Yeah.
overseer. I like
Yeah.
that word.
The Feige.
Yeah. No one
The
does it
Feige.
like Feige though.
No.
wonder why Feige's doing a Star Wars movie. They saw these Filoni episodes like, oof, we're gonna get the real hat wielder in here. They're gonna have a hat.
They obviously like Filoni enough if they're bringing his Clone Wars back.
I think
Man.
it's just like George put in the contract.
Imagine
like, you gotta
that-
keep Filoni.
Imagine that Star Wars.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like a son to me. He said that. So if you buy my
I love
company,
your George Lucas voice.
you keep Filoni till you sell,
love
right?
you,
Oh,
George
yeah.
Lucas.
Do you have
Okay.
a Filoni voice too?
No, I don't think I've heard him
He's
speak
probably got a
enough.
thick Texan
I'll,
accent.
I'll work it
No
down.
one's heard him talk.
The
Actually.
George
Except
voice
me.
is so
Yeah.
good.
I
They
love,
should-
I love Dave.
That Star Wars intro when they do it for Feige's movie, they should put him in the hat in there. Imagine
hat
that shine off that beautiful brim.
Oh yeah. I'm ready. I
Marvel
can't wait
hat
to.
too.
I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait to see a Star Wars hat though. It's gonna be exciting. Taylor, what you rate in this episode? I bet I know.
I don't think it's gonna be a 5.
I
Oh,
think it
it's
will
an
be
easy
just to
5.
spite
It's
us.
fucking Tatooine.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
a space battle.
That
You
is-
know?
Space
that
battle.
is fair.
That's my line.
Yeah, this episode it
we
had
lucky
so
one?
many good things.
Oh, here we go.
I really like I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna say I loved it,
Hey.
and I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5
Oh,
for that.
I
But
thought it'd be a
that
4.
being said,
Filoni, he's gonna turn on you now.
oh yeah, well, you know, it's like
Oh, yeah.
Fallen Order. I'm not gonna just because it's Star Wars just fucking pull
That's
my
true.
pants down.
You fucking shit on that
Pull your
game.
pants down.
I'm
Go for a
gonna.
polar bear dip.
I think things need to be properly addressed, and like all the other episodes, I fucking love them. This episode, I'm not gonna
So is
say
this
like
your
I
least favorite episode?
Well, yeah, I'd probably say it definitely is, but according to the rating system that I just
yeah, he was
To
gonna.
the Taylor Field reliable
Yeah,
rating.
he was gonna say no, but then he thought, oh wait, I gave it 4 out of 5. So
Yeah, everything else is a 5 out of 5, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But no, this episode it obviously had certain things that yeah, the CGI is one of those things. Actually, you made a good point with that when they were on the speeder bikes, and it was probably the slowest I think of all the episodes. It could have been a little bit faster, but then again, I'm glad it wasn't like a few weeks all condensed into one episode like the episode 4 was. I'm glad they didn't do that this time around. But that being said, it was entertaining. I enjoyed it. I love the action. I love the space battles. But I wish there was more Baby Yoda in it. But yeah, all in all, it just has me excited for what's to come because I believe this was a starting point to something bigger. So
Esther.
At episode 5.
Episode
Yeah.
5, over halfway through the
Got
season.
an hour and a half left ish.
Oh, I doubt it. The finale's gonna be a fucking 15-minute episode. It's just
No,
gonna be him like
Taika,
daring
please.
Toro.
I'm excited for a Taika.
I'm excited to see
Yeah.
what a character he plays.
Yeah.
Who, Taika?
Yeah.
I don't think he's playing anymore. I think it's
IG-11.
IG-11.
I think they
done.
dropped
Come
Korg
back.
in there. Korg would
No.
work perfectly in this show.
he would work in the Star Wars.
He'd be a good Star
universe.
Wars
I'd
character.
love to see it. Just connect the universes.
Hey man.
Hey, man.
Taylor, where can they find us?
They can find us, ladies and gentlemen, with your internet connection in the search bar. You can go to Facebook, Geek for Space Podcast. Make sure you check out, it's still Game of the Week, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. And
City of Entertainment.
Yeah.
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 That's
Yeah,
it.
man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, lots of good stuff. And make sure you check out, because it'll be The Last Jedi, which we're going to go and do right now. It'll be available on Patreon
It'll
first.
be Patreon like in the next few days, and then it'll release the week of Rise of Skywalker. We always do the Patreon one or the commentary tracks, and then the week before Rise of Skywalker will be the predictions episode as
That's
well.
gonna be
So
good.
there's lots of good stuff, and we're still doing the Mandalorians
Yeah,
when it
go
moves
check
to
out these
Wednesday.
guys' Fallen Order review.
Yeah. When Mandalorian does the Wednesday move, we're still gonna do that. So we're gonna be still reviewing all these, and
Yep.
hopefully we got some good ones. So yeah, if you want to
Lots of
follow
Star
us,
Wars.
if you want the early stuff, just head down the description below. The video, the audio, the subscription feeds, everything is there to get you into our ear holes, to get you into your
Ear
eye holes.
holes.
All the holes, go to the description. We're there. So
Yep.
thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back next week. It won't be boring, and may the force be with you.
Always.
Is that a thing?
I don't
That's
know.
a new thing.
I was
Holy